KA24DER here, welcome back to the garage. Today we're continuing on the Supercharged 240 project. We got quite a bit to do today. There's a lot of different things to do in very different parts of the vehicle, so there might be a little bit of a lack of continuity, but we're going to make some progress and hopefully get closer to, I'm feeling like next month is going to be the first start of the engine. So it's getting nerve-wracking. I'm hoping everything continues to come together as it is, and hopefully we don't have any big roadblocks. So let's go over some of the things we will be doing today. Let's start with this guy. This is the battery I have chosen. It is the XS Power S680. It is a 320 cranking amp battery that should be just fine and dandy for what we're doing. It is very small. It is a sealed lead acid battery that is good for starting, good for cranking, but it's just very small and compact and has a lot of punch in that little package. It is quite heavy, but still lighter than a stock battery, and it had this nice aluminum case with it that will fit very nicely in the place that I wanted it to go. So that is what I chose. You've already seen this. This is the fuel pressure regulator. We're going to mount that today, get it all together. This is the fuel pump that needs to be installed with its hardware. This is a junction block that I have purchased to connect this up to the starter wire and then be able to run a lead from this off to the well, the fuse panel, basically the new power distribution in the car, and just clean things up a little bit. And I got this to join these two because I want to have this peg here so I can power things that need power in the engine base, such as the fans. And of course, some hardware and such that is required for such things. So let us start out with the battery mounting. This is where this car was at one time. I believe it had an RB in it. That is what I could decipher through the history of the car. And intercooler piping went through here. Somebody made an absolute mess of the metal to make that work. I'm going to try and beat that down a little bit and flatten it out so that the battery's not sitting on these sharp edges. Okay, I sprayed a little rust inhibitor on that, so I'm going to let that dry for a second. In the meantime, I got other stuff I can do, including tightening down this front crank bolt, setting this in there all the way, because I think I am now fairly happy with how everything is looking. This will push this back a hair more, but yeah, okay. I do need to torque this down. My torque wrench is not currently with me, so I will add that to the list of things I need to do. But that will get us close. And then this guy I never actually mounted because I didn't get the hardware for it, but I now have it. Hopefully we will see that these have the length in them. Well, does it line up at all? What's going on? I know it's slotted so it can be adjusted. Doesn't seem to want to line up. There it goes. There it goes, yeah. That's got plenty of thread engagement now. So that's good. Couldn't do that twice if I tried. So you can see just how close that is. It does not touch, but very, very close. So it has a solid pickup. And it is nice and solidly mounted there now. Hunky-dory. Okay, so originally I was thinking this way, but it occurs to me that if I need to remove the battery, that would be a real pain in the butt, so I'd like to do it this way. If it will fit at all, it would probably have to be right on the edge here. I can bend this up a little bit, need be, but then these would be very hard to get to over there. So in the end, I think I may just keep it this way, because, you know, it's only the bolts right here. They're very easy to access from the bottom. I'm touching it. So yeah, let's do it that way. I think that will look better. And yeah, if the battery needs to come out, this whole thing can come out. That's not too bad. So let me find a Sharpie, mark those holes, and get to drilling. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one mounted battery. It's pretty solid over there. I don't have to worry about straps. I don't have to worry about anything like that. Everybody should say that's safe and ready to go. And now all I need to do is run some wire to it, which I conveniently already have right here with an end on it already, ready to mate right up into that. Just gonna push it right through here, around to here. And then that should be enough. And then, actually, maybe let's go through this hole and through where this wire is. That seems like a better idea. Just kidding on that. Okay, so let's see. How can we do such a thing? Up through here. Gotta keep it away from the motor and stuff of the headlight, too, though. Just kidding 2.0. Let's go back the other way. Yeah, because there's moving parts in there, and this is quite a bit of amperage running through here. So let's not test that out. And is that in the way of perchance, the radiator? I don't think it is. It would have to run across there to go out into the void. That's how it would have to run. Well, let's find out. Let's put it up in here. This side. That looks like a pretty safe place there. Free of any motors or moving parts. Now let me run it out there. I'm sure you can't see any of this. Nope, zero issues there, so that will be fine. Great. Some of the most important tools of the trade. And today's first little snafu. Got the wire over here, and I was getting ready to mount this, and I was like, you know what? I should make sure that this intake isn't sitting in a weird place that any of this will be a problem. Problem. That location I decided the relay box should be at is right where the air filter wants to be at. Well, back outside it goes, I do suppose. I'll have to mount it back upside down under the fender well. Oh well. Alrighty, so I got the box back outside and ran the wires through the hole here. That should be plenty of space to run the intake down into there. This is exactly why I don't do the cleanup. I don't do the neat little wire wrap or painting anything before this setup is like really close to complete. If you do that, if you do all the little tidying up stuff as you go, you're just constantly undoing it as things have to shift around. So have no fear. I will get to cleaning this whole setup up, making it look really nice, but I'm gonna not do any of that until we basically have it running. That is how I do things. Alright, that is good for those two. And then I need to do the same thing for this. And there we have it. Now, if this is the cleanest setup you've ever seen, you, my friend, are not looking at enough setups. But it is effective, and, well, we hope it's effective, and should be very secure. I just need to mount this guy down to the battery tray here, and we will be set. I wonder what in the heck he had this mounted to, but minus that, it seems like everything is good to go. That should be just fine. All the wires will be out of the way, and if nothing else, this actually does a darn good job of hiding all the wiring, but I will go through and wrap all that eventually, figure out some way to mount this guy so that it has a little bit of structure to it, and this part of it will be complete. Not quite, just kidding. I gotta run a wire from this side back to the ECU side, so this will be where that stuff gets its power too. I don't need to run much power back there, because I'm not actually going to be using a whole lot of power from that board in the glove box, at least not in the initial setup. I will be controlling most of the power outside in here in the engine bay. Okay, next up, let's talk regulator. And let's see, instrucciones say return line on the bottom and feed line. Which side are they showing? Which side are they showing? Don't tell me I gotta read this stuff. Well, yeah, that would be that side. Okay. That's why they gave us one plug. The plug will go on this side. Okay, now we have two more. Obviously, I think they're all the same size. Alrighty, well luckily this bracket flips around the other way. It was going this way with it, but it easily went the other way. So that made it so that I can mount this guy right about here. Clears the intake and all of that stuff. And it puts our feed line here, which will be going to this side, and the return line, which would be going to this side. That's a pretty good location. I think that's the way it would probably make the most sense mounted. However, for our application, I think it's going to be this way. So there's our vacuum line, which will just got to go to here. And like I said, fuel line's going to there and there. And then the slight correction there. Slight correction. So this, let me make sure this will all work now, because this goes down to the return line, which is down in there. I don't know if you can see that. And then this goes to the end of the fuel rail. Yeah, because the fuel pump goes through the fuel rail, through all the injectors, then through the new adapter here, then to the fuel pressure regulator. That regulates the pressure, and if it needs to send pressure back, it sends it back to the rail, or it sends it back to the fuel tank. Got it. Got it. We're good. I hope. Alright, and it looks like they provided plenty of fuel hose for me to use. I don't have to buy any more of that. And this is nice stuff. This is high pressure fuel injection line hose. Even though it's rubber, it's actually really good hose. So no need for any of that crazy braided A&N fitting stuff. This will work just fine. And that will go from there to there, and then this from here to here. Hey, easy now. I'm not going to do any cutting or anything. I'm not going to hook these up just yet, because I'm waiting on, I bought a rebuild kit, basically all the gaskets and seals for injectors, because I got a set of injectors, but I want to redo all the seals in them before I go through and put this in, because remember, that's the problem that actually sidelined this car originally. So all new stuff for that, and we'll do that next time. Alright, is everybody ready for some gas fumes? I know I'm not, but we gotta get this fuel pump out of here. Well, hello there, fuel pump. Boy, I've seen plenty of these before. That's actually pretty new. I had a fuel pump failure not 2 years ago. Alright, I think you guys have seen me do this before, so I won't bore you through that. It's pretty much straightforward. I got all the new wiring and clamps and everything like that. I just pop these off. And I think I will have to solder the wires together though. But that's about all the complicated part of it. That's going to be a wrap for this for today, because I'm going to leave this off because I want to be able to get to the wiring, because next time I need to figure out how to wire this, relay it up. Probably going to put it on a switch, because I would like to have the fuel pump on a switch for reasons. And yeah, so that'll be next time, and then I'm going to leave it open, because when we do power it, I want to make sure it's not leaking and stuff of that nature. But for this month, that will do it. However, it won't be very long before we're back at it here, because I'm going to probably do a couple episodes, if not multiple, throughout April. As we're getting closer to getting this thing going, there's a lot of small things left to do, so I'd like to do some of those just kind of when I can. And we'll probably do just a few shorter episodes throughout the month. Hope you all are enjoying, hope you're all excited to see it go, and I will see you next time.